Or think about the Sahel region, one of the poorest, yes, yet fastest growing demographically. The succession of military coups will make the region more unstable for years ahead. Russia is both influencing and benefiting from the crisis, and the region has become fertile ground to the rise of terrorism. This is of direct concern for Europe, for our security and our prosperity. So we need to show the same unity of purpose towards Africa as we have shown towards Ukraine. This is a must. We need to focus on cooperation with legitimate governments and regional organizations. We need to develop a mutually beneficial partnership which focuses on common issues for Europe and Africa. And this is why, together with HRVP Borrell, we will work on a new strategic approach to take forward at the next EU-AU summit.
When the attack happened in Libya and Gaddafi was being taken down, a number of African presidents said, wait, hold. We will fly into Libya and we can have some kind of diplomatic conversations. The feedback from external actors to them was, if you fly into Libyan airspace, we cannot guarantee your security. I want you to think about that for a minute, that heads of state of the African continent were told this on our continent. And ladies and gentlemen, what is Libya today?
These were heads of state, and their flight was refused. We had to negotiate until they arrived. What happened once they arrived in Libya? Gaddafi was ready to quit power. He was ready to step down. He said that to heads of state. And this brings us back to the idea of ownership. We should own our security, social and political system. Our population needs to accept that system that we are proposing, and we need to position ourselves vis-a-vis the rest of the world. When you see armored vehicles rolling in the streets, what do? Do you intervene? The responsibility to protect, does it enter into force or not? I agree that intervention should be criticized, but sometimes you need to look at the facts. 14 years after the intervention in Libya, there is no government. It was possible to stop war in Libya.
African countries, people in Africa, need to use their own brain power to make a decision first, whether this country or that country is doing the right thing or the wrong thing. Don't be forced by any other country to make a choice which will not serve your fundamental interest.
At this point, I'm tired of defending people that refuse to be reasonable.
Major breaking news. Ibrahim Traoré discovered a hideout site for terrorists in Burkina Faso. Can you believe this? These people, they have dug out a cave and they were all hiding inside, waiting for the right moment, waiting for the orders on where to come out and attack Burkina Faso. As you can see from the picture, they are being taken out from that cave. There were hundreds of terrorists, but maybe most of these people, they are not even terrorists, because there are some information going around that France and USA, they are tricking Africans into signing up. They trick them that they are going to sign up to go and help Ukraine, fight Russia. So they are tricked to go to Ivory Coast and sign up. But when they reach to Ivory Coast, yes, they sign up. But the day of the traveling, the day that they're supposed to go to Ukraine, they are taken to Burkina Faso. So they find themselves in Burkina Faso and they are told to fight Burkina Faso, to attack. And if they refuse, they are unalived. Don't be tricked by anyone that you're going to help Ukraine fight Russia and then you'll sign up some documents. Don't go to Ivory Coast to sign anything, because all that is not true at all. And you're going to find yourself in trouble if you do it.
If you get caught in Burkina Faso and all the excuse you could come up with is that you were paid to go and fight for Ukraine with a promise of getting paid a bounty or whatsoever, that is no longer an excuse. You have already signed up to die. That is it. If your reason of being in Burkina Faso is only because you were paid or you were told or promised that if you go to Ukraine to fight against the Russians, that you are going to be paid, it means you have signed your death warrant. Because I don't know how a normal human being would even, and you're an African, I don't know how you would sign up to go to either Burkina Faso or to go to Ukraine to fight against Russia. If you sign that kind of contract, I hope you die. Because from history, the only country that has no dirty record with Africans is Russia. Who are you fighting for? You're fighting for Ukraine? Ukraine? Watch this video.
Nikki A says Ukrainian soldiers went into Mali, West Africa, and murdered Malians and Russians. What did Mali do to Ukraine? Western media didn't cover this. No, they didn't. But I'll tell you what, there's a fantastic piece by Africa Stream that you must watch by my good friend Ahmed Caballo on who is exactly funding and facilitating these so-called Islamist fanatics in Africa. Where did they come from? And who wants them to succeed? It is a piece of brilliance. African Stream, Ahmed Caballo, I salute you.
Malian troops were eliminated by Ukrainians inside Mali. And some of these deplorable people are going to Ukraine to fight for Ukraine. I don't get where this is coming from. Now, let's say this, right? You have no military training. You've never handled a rifle before whatsoever. You are going to get some jamboree training from somewhere. And you were told that you were going to Russia. You were going to fight the Russians. Do you think that is a joke? Fighting the Russians. Have you ever witnessed a Russian performing at optimal level before? In physical sport or whatsoever? These guys are irregular. Listen, mercenaries have gone to Russia, have gone to the Ukrainian-Russian front line, and they didn't return back home. U.S. Marines, veterans, they've died in this battle.
So a U.S. Marine veteran, Corey Naraki, who died in service in Ukraine, was escorted with honors from Philadelphia to Lansdale Saturday night of this past week. He was welcomed home by first responders, veterans, and the community at large. Corey Naraki retired from the Marine Corps as a first sergeant and was killed in October while fighting as a volunteer on the Ukrainian side. He's going to remain in Pennsylvania until he can be interred at Arlington National Cemetery alongside the rest of the fallen service members who were buried there. First Sergeant Naraki was 41 years old when he was killed in action on October 27th of 2024 this past year in the Bryansk region of Russia during a reported reconnaissance and sabotage incursion as a volunteer fighter with the armed forces of Ukraine. He was found with another alleged American volunteer fighter who had a U.S. Army 2nd Ranger Battalion 75th Ranger Regiment tattoo on his arm, according to other various reports. First Sergeant Naraki spent 20 years in the U.S. Marine Corps, serving multiple tours, including 6 deployments to Iraq and 2 to Afghanistan. Some of his awards are a Bronze Star with a V for Valor and 2 Purple Hearts. He retired in 2021. He was a gunnery sergeant at the Marine Barracks Washington and also served with 1st Battalion 4th Marines Bravo Company and also 3rd Light Armored Reconnaissance Blackfoot Company. He was known by his Marines as Fat Stacks, and he grew up on the 600 block of Spruce Street. According to the Moscow Times, Russia's Federal Security Service, the FSB, basically Russia's CIA, claimed responsibility for killing 4 saboteurs of a diversion reconnaissance group who attempted to cross into Bryansk with the A3449 military unit of Ukraine, according to reports. Prior to being returned home, his body was exploited online by Russian forces, and according to other news sources, they waged a digital campaign of cruelty against his mother. However, his mother, Sandy didn't give up and continued to work with the Defense Intelligence of Ukraine and the Weatherman Foundation to get her son returned home.
You have never carried a weapon before, and you said they were promising you to pay you if you fight against the Russia. What is your probability of coming back alive? Because I do know you ain't coming. I 100% you are not coming back. So you got into Burkina Faso. Thank God for your life. You got into Burkina Faso. What are you doing in a cave? Because I'm tired of this excuse. You were found inside trucks. You guys were dropping off the trucks like flies. Now you're found inside a cave. Look at the number. See this deplorable human beings. Now I'm gonna say this, right? I'm beginning to not like this old Burkina Faso arresting terrorists or whatsoever. The fact that you guys were found inside caves, you guys are no longer civil. You guys are no longer naive. Whatever put you in that place, I feel like you all now, you deserve to die. If you're an African person and for whatever reason, you were told to go to Burkina Faso to fight against Captain Ibrahim Traoré, you are already verified to die. There's no reason in returning you back to your country, because the people that recruited you can still come back and convince your gullible head to come back and do the same thing. They just have to improve the offer. I'm tired of these lies that I was given so amount. I was promised to go on, like, you give me $10 million, I'm not fighting against the Russians for whatsoever reason. Promise me $1 billion. I don't need the money. No matter the military precedent, the military experience I got, there is no guarantee that you will walk away alive from the Russians. There's no guarantee. I don't give a fuck. Look at the technologies. Look at the level of the war going on. Look at the level of the combat going on the front line. Russia single-handedly taking on NATO.
Шансов никаких нет для того, чтобы сбить эти ракеты. Ну, а если вот те эксперты западные, про которых вы сказали, так полагают, пусть они предложат нам, и пусть предложат тем на Западе и в США, кто им платит за их анализ, произвести некий такой технологический эксперимент, ну, скажем, такую высокотехнологичную дуэль 21 века. Пусть определят какой-то объект для поражения, скажем, в Киеве. Сосредоточат туда все свои силы ПВО и ПРО, а мы нанесем туда удар орешником. И посмотрим, что будет. Мы к такому эксперименту готовы.
And they are forging on. And your foolish excuse is you want to go to Russia, to Ukraine, to fight for the Ukrainians against the Russian. Oh man, like this is a sorry excuse. If I'm one of those soldiers, let's imagine I'm the one that caught you guys. I'm serious. The moment you say that you were promised to be paid if you fight for the Ukrainians against the Russians, I'm gonna if you people are 1,000, I'm gonna use you all for target practice, because you guys are just very, very deplorable. Very, very, very deplorable. Look at that number. Guys, I don't know. You can talk, just drop your opinion in the comment section below. I mean, whoever is recruiting these people, that's not even the person to be blamed. It is the people that choose to be recruited that is to be blamed at this point. The number is just exasperating. I can't believe that there are so much foolish people that are still in this continent. So how does this continent want to go forward with that bunch, with that number? Look, at this point, if you are caught in Burkina Faso, whatever your excuse is, once you are caught, your excuse is already invalid. And you deserve to die. Because if you remember the last allegation of General Langlet, or whatsoever his name is, he said These terrorists that are being recruited, they are Burkinabes, even though he was dwindling around it. He said, and they are taking refuge in Burkina Faso. So who planted them inside the cave? That's the billion-dollar question. Who planted them inside the cave? Why are they being discovered just after he made that statement? Ladies and gentlemen, you can answer the question.